Mike Coppinger saying sources: Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez lightweight title unification fight is targeted for May 30th, though date has been finalized. Bout likely to land on ESPN pay-per-view rather than linear or ESPN Plus. Loma has never headlined on pay-per-view in the U.S., but this is his biggest fight yet. Guys, thoughts on this? Thoughts on Loma Lopez being pay-per-view? Thoughts on how successful this could be? Should this fight be pay-per-view? Just thoughts on this all. I don't know who wants to jump in here first.
It's a big fight for the people that care, but I don't think there's going to be a whole bunch of people that really care for this to buy it on pay-per-view. I don't know. I know these guys have got to make the money and probably demanding certain amounts of money, but I don't think they're going to recoup too much on a pay-per-view front. It's, yeah, I don't know. Like it kind of like when we've seen some of the fights we've seen that have managed to hit pay-per-view over there, then this is completely worthy. You know, it's very exciting young contender / well, champion now, obviously, but still early days in his career against one of the pound for pound, some people's number one, whatever. But you know, the Matrix, you know, Lomachenko, it's crazy. But when you actually look at it, this isn't. I don't think America is particularly interested in a lot of the lower weight classes. I know perhaps people in this listening on the show are, but in the wider grand scheme of things, when you're thinking of a pay-per-view, I can't see casuals checking in for this one too much.
Gary, thoughts on Loma Lopez pay-per-view May 30th?
This is the worst fight to ever hide on pay-per-view. This has the potential to not just be a great fight, like an all-time great fight, but it also has the potential to be this amazing changing of the guard and birth of a new superstar in boxing. I said if Teofimo wins this fight, and I'm probably not going to pick Teofimo. Right? I'm still going to pick Lomachenko, right? But we'll get to that when we get to that. If Teofimo wins this, he's a pound-for-pound great right now. Like he's a pound-for-pound right now. He just beat Lomachenko in his prime. Like, that's amazing for a 20. What is he? 22, 23. That, you know what I'm saying? That is great. It's not exactly like if Canelo beat Floyd, because Floyd's way better than Loma, but it's that kind of analogy. It's like, are you kidding me? This kid, this young, beat that guy? Like this, and then Teofimo has a catchy name. He's got a catchy personality. He likes to do interviews. He's a good speaker. He's a good interview. He's an interesting guy. He has everything you want to be a star. And then you
just like Tanahara.
Exactly like Tanahara with knockout power, right? Like he's got the Fortnite dances. He wears the jersey of the Heisman. Like this kid is a star. Like there's everything about this kid. He's going to be a star. And then he's from New York, the biggest market in the country. This kid can be boxing's next superstar. This is so short-sighted. And you might do a decent number. You might do 250. I don't know. You don't think so? Yeah, that's probably high. I think you do 200.
This does maybe. I'm emphasizing that word specifically. Maybe Ward, Kovalev, Crawford Khan numbers. Yeah.
This does less than Crawford Khan, in my opinion.
I think it does as well. That's why I said maybe. You know, it's ESPN and it's Aram and it's Loma. They love Lomachenko. So I could see them pushing it a lot to where it kind of overperforms. But even if it overperforms, it's not a pay-per-view fight.
ESPN has the money to put into this fight. Look at the money they gave to Tyson Fury to fight Otto Bailin and Thomas Schwartz. Like ESPN has the money. Like they can build a star in Teofimo Lopez that will pay with dividends for 15 years to come. He's so young. Like invest in it now. Put it in front of as many people as possible. And like that's a kid that can pay off in the long run. But this is what we're talking about, the short-sightedness of boxing. All they care is about trying to maximize this one fight. And like you're gonna miss out on putting a star with star-making ability in front of everyone. This is the worst fight to put on pay-per-view. The worst.
I agree with you, Gary, almost entirely. And, you know, plus just to add, you know, more context. So obviously, the asking price for this type of fight in the now market, that the new market paradigm we have, is that I bet Top Rank was in a way forced to make this pay-per-view, similar to a lot of Earl Spence fights for PBC, etc. It's a way to break even on that exorbitant cost of fighter pay now. And like you said, Gary, you would just wish that ESPN took this as a loss leader and put this on regular ESPN linear TV, and you truly make this a star-making performance or night for either gentleman, for Loma or for Teofimo Lopez. But there's no foresight. There's no wish to do that. I think the network's not thinking of boxing in that perspective, to be quite honest. And also, I don't think Bob Arum or Top Rank is thinking in that way at all. I just think that it is so apparent that, like you said, there's no foresight. There's no long-term thinking here about if we have Lopez beat Lomachenko on regular ESPN where it does. I mean, let's theorize here, Gary. If that fight's on regular ESPN, prime time, has a great lead-in, what does it do? 5 million viewers?
I thought that was going to be aggressive. You're going to mock me. I was going to say at least 3, right? It could do a lot. Like, it really could. They could hype it, and you could put a highlight package together. Everyone, not everyone, but the boxing public knows Lomachenko from the Rigondeaux fight and other fights. Like, they know who he is. You can build this kid. You can put him on First Take, put him with Max and Steven, let him shine. You can put this in front of a lot of people. But if you put a $70 price tag on it, now you're going to put it in front of 150,000 people instead of 5 million.
Yep.
I agree. What sort of May 30th? What would that be, Gary? What kind of sports would be happening and possible lead-in for that?
NBA Finals.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a lead-in, though.
Yeah, and baseball. So not much. The NBA playoffs, because baseball in May 30th. Boy, you gotta be a hardcore to be in a baseball in the end of May. I mean,
yeah, fair one. But yeah, NBA playoffs straight into lightweight unification.
Yeah.
Show Teofimo's highlights, his backflips, his fucking dances, his celebrations, and all that. Show Loma doing his thing. Yeah, it'd be huge on ESPN. I think could do a really big number.
When, I'm saying that specifically again, when Teofimo Lopez beats Lomachenko, they are going to lose out on a, like Gary said, the next superstar in boxing by making this on pay-per-view when this fight doesn't belong on pay-per-view.